Imagine waking up tomorrow and having absolutely no vote, no elections, no democracy, no constitution, your freedom of speech as you know it. Your entire life is controlled by a king living 3,000 miles away across an ocean. And if you were born poor, a woman, a servant, or enslaved, you had almost no say in anything. This was America before democracy. But here's the strange part. Many colonists weren't spending their days talking about freedom. They were trying to survive. Because daily life in colonial America was far harder, stranger, and more brutal than most people realize. Farm wives worked until they collapsed. Children died so often that many parents expected it. Doctors treated illness with mercury and bloodletting. Plantation owners played billiards and cricket while enslaved people were whipped for minor mistakes. And while all of this was happening, a revolution was quietly brewing. This is the forgotten reality of America before democracy. If you want to understand colonial America, forget the famous founding fathers for a moment. Instead, meet Mary Cooper, a farm wife living on Long Island in the 1760s. Unlike politicians and generals, Mary left behind something much rarer: a diary. And her diary reveals what ordinary life actually felt like. One winter day in 1768, she wrote that she had spent the entire day cleaning, cooking, carrying supplies, washing dishes, drying apples, and handling household chores. By bedtime, she wrote, "I am almost tired to death." On another day, she complained that she had not had 1 minute's rest. Think about that. No washing machines, no electricity, no supermarkets, no running water. Every meal required hours of labor. Every piece of clothing required work. Even making a blanket could involve transporting materials to a weaver. For many women, life wasn't measured in years. It was measured in chores. And the hardest part wasn't the work. It was the loss. Mary had 6 children. Only 2 survived to adulthood. The other 4 died young. Today, losing a child is rare. In colonial America, it was heartbreakingly common. Death wasn't an unexpected visitor. It was part of everyday life. While farm families struggled to survive, wealthy plantation owners lived in a completely different world. One of them was William Byrd II of Virginia. Unlike Mary Cooper, Byrd was rich, very rich, and he kept a secret diary. Reading it today feels surprisingly modern. He woke early, read books, studied languages, managed his finances, played sports, hosted friends, and complained about family drama. One day he admitted cheating his own wife during a card game and making her angry. Another day he played billiards. Then there was cricket. Yes, cricket in colonial Virginia, long before baseball became America's sport. But hidden among these ordinary moments was something darker. Byrd frequently mentioned enslaved people, not as equals, not as human beings with rights, but as property. One diary entry casually states, "Moll was whipped for 100 faults." That's it. One sentence, no explanation, no emotion, just another item on his daily schedule. For wealthy plantation owners, brutal punishment had become routine. The contrast is shocking. A man could spend the afternoon playing games and then order another human being whipped. That was colonial America's reality: luxury for some, suffering for others. Despite the hardships, colonists still found ways to enjoy themselves. And surprisingly, their parties weren't that different from ours. People danced, played cards, bet money on sports, told stories, gossiped, and drank. A lot. One young Scottish tutor named John Harrower recorded a party in 1774. He wrote that people played cards, danced until midnight, and drank rum. By the end of the evening, one guest became violently sick. Some things never change. Colonists also enjoyed horse races, billiards, cricket matches, and large social gatherings. The difference was that everything happened by candlelight. No televisions, no phones, no internet. Entertainment came from other people, and that meant communities were often much closer than they are today. Now imagine getting a simple fever. Today you take medicine, maybe visit a doctor, then you recover. In colonial America, it was a gamble. Doctors didn't understand bacteria. They didn't understand viruses. They didn't know about germs. Instead, they used treatments that sound horrifying today. When William Byrd's daughter became ill, he recorded that she was cupped. Cupping involved placing heated cups on the skin to draw out supposed bad humors. Afterward, she was given medicine, possibly containing mercury. Yes, mercury, one of the most toxic substances known to humans. Other remedies included alcohol. When John Harrower caught a cold, he drank rum mixed with brown sugar. People believed it would warm the body and cure illness. Sometimes it worked. Often it didn't. Without antibiotics, even small infections could become deadly. A sore throat, a cut, a fever. Any of them could end a life. And then, everything started to change. By the 1770s, many colonists were becoming angry. Not because they wanted democracy in the modern sense, but because they believed the British government
was violating their rights. John Harrower's journal captured these changes in real time. One day he saw 70 armed men marching toward Williamsburg. They were preparing to defend what they called the rights and liberties of the colony. Soon militia camps appeared. Hundreds of men trained together. Farmers donated food. Neighbors shared supplies. Ordinary people began preparing for something enormous: war. At first it didn't seem real. People still attended parties, still taught school, still farmed their land. But then the violence arrived. In January 1776, Harrower recorded shocking news. The city of Norfolk had been attacked, burned, reduced to ashes. He wrote that women and children had been killed. Suddenly the conflict was no longer political, it was personal. The revolution had reached their homes. When we think about America's founding, we usually imagine heroic speeches and famous battles. But most colonists experienced history differently. They experienced it through chores, through sickness, through family tragedies, through parties, through gossip, through fear, and eventually, through war. Before democracy, America wasn't a land of freedom for everyone. It was a place where survival required constant work, where children regularly died, where medicine often harmed more than it helped, where slavery shaped everyday life, and where ordinary people had almost no control over the governments that ruled them. Yet within that difficult world, something new was emerging. The idea that power should come from the people, not from a king, not from birth, not from wealth alone. That idea would eventually transform America, and then the world. The next time you vote, complain about paperwork, or scroll through your phone while sitting comfortably at home, remember this: 250 years ago, an American farm wife could work from dawn until midnight and still write, "I have not had 1 minute's rest." That was life before democracy, and for millions of people, it was the only life they ever knew.